My sweet corn was looking a bit rough. I had been getting it used to the outside conditions gradually for about a week, but now I needed to plant it out and I only had 2 hours because rain was forecast. The only thing is, I still had daffodils and alliums in the back raised bed where I wanted to plant it. So before I could plant it out, I had 3 things to do. First, I had to dig out the daffodils and the alliums. Second, I had to amend the soil because sweet corn needs a lot of nutrients. And then finally, I had to plant out the sweet corn. I was pretty confident that I could do this in under 2 hours because this is my 6th time growing sweet corn. So you could call me a master farmer, I guess. I sowed 2 lots of seeds 3 weeks apart. This is referred to as succession sowing. It just means that I can harvest over a longer period of time rather than sowing the seeds all at the same time and likely getting the harvest at the same time. Germination wise, the second lot did better than the first lot. And looking at them now, there didn't seem to be much difference in the size. In 2024, I remember I only had 3 germinate, so that was quite interesting. So I do have mixed results when it comes to the germination. Sweet corn requires full sun, which is at least 6 hours of direct sun a day. Therefore, in my garden, which is northeast facing, I get the most sunlight towards the end of the garden. Therefore, that's where I was going to place my sweet corn, in that bed right there where the alliums were. This process was actually quite quick. I wasn't sure whether I was going to keep the daffodils and the alliums, but I didn't really have time to decide. So I just decided to dig them up and place them in the shed for now until I decided whether to keep them or not. As I mentioned, sweet corn is one of those crops that requires a lot of nutrients. So I was going to amend my bed using my own compost, some store-bought compost, as well as some raised bed vegetable soil. This is always a highlight of my year when I get to harvest my own compost. I'm always super proud. Unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of me actually shoveling the compost. Remember, it was about to rain, so I was doing things at pace. All in all, I got 3 wheelbarrows of compost, of my own compost, which was brilliant. I added a bag and a half of store-bought compost because that's all I had left. And then on top of that, I added 3 bags of raised bed vegetable soil. And there you go. It was ready to plant. I didn't get an opportunity to show the seedling on the day I planted the sweet corn, so I did this after so that you could just look at the root ball and what it looks like. So this is from the first lot that I sowed. So this was on the 28th of March when I sowed these, and you can see that the root system is quite developed and it looks healthy. There is some circling at the bottom where the roots are circling a little bit. For sweet corn, I try not to disturb the roots. So whereas with other plants, I'll probably have loosened them up a bit. But I didn't feel like this was too bad. So I left it as it is. Sweet corn is wind pollinated, so it's recommended that it is planted in blocks. Regarding the actual spacing, there are a lot of views out there. Some say 30 centimeters to 45 centimeters. Some actually plant it even closer. I essentially try to plant about 18 to 20 in that bed of mine, in that raised bed of mine, and I'll put the measurements on the screen. I have also previously planted sweet corn in containers and it did well. So really spacing, really up to you. But if you are a beginner, I would recommend following the instructions on the seed packet. I did not manage to actually show on the day how to plant the seedling, so I decided to do this afterwards for demonstration purposes. So here I was digging using my fingers. You don't have to use your fingers. You can use a tool to dig, but obviously I had amended the soil. I knew it was quite soft, so I really wanted to feel it, especially now that it had rained. So you dig a hole, you place your seedling in at the same depth as it was in the container it was in. So there we go. I put it in and then I press it down and make sure that it's nice and settled. One other thing that I do is I make sure that I water the seedlings before I plant them, and then after I plant them, I also water them. I even watered them on this day, even though the rain was forecast. And there you go, all done in an hour and 40 minutes. Very proud, as I said, Master Gardener. There is still time to plant sweet corn if you would like to give it a go, especially if you've never grown it before. As I mentioned, it just needs a sunny position, very good soil, and then watering it regularly. There will be some fertilizing as well later on, just to make sure that it carries on getting those nutrients, but that's something I'll talk about a bit later, and you can also look it up to see how to do it. I definitely recommend planting sweet corn. It's tasty, it looks beautiful, And there is still time to plant it. You don't necessarily have to sow the seeds. You can actually go and buy some seedlings from various stores, various shops, and even from the nurseries as well. So if you do have some space, do consider some sweet corn, and let's share the journey together. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.